Hello everybody, it's MAGMA and I'm here with a new type of LEGO video for you guys. Today I'm going to go ahead and analyze the LEGO Star Wars 1999 wave. So pretty much the idea of this video and these type of videos I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at the LEGO waves from the different years. Just giving my overall opinion and feeling on each of the sets. Obviously I'll be mentioning the ones I have, the ones I don't have, the ones I want, the ones I don't want, and so on. So the way this is going to work is just I'm going to go through them in chronological order from episodes and so on, and obviously I'll make mentions and comments on every single type of set. So for example, the first LEGO set in 1999 that was released is from episode 1. It is the 7101 Lightsaber Duel. Now this is one of those very small sets. We had Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul. The set came with a little moisture vaporizer from Tatooine and Darth Maul's speeder bike, which was very basic build, just a few bricks. So I don't have much affection and I don't have much need for this set. It's one of those like really small $5 to $10 sets that kind of replaced battle packs back then. The idea is you get two main characters from the movie. So when the movie was released and when there was a lot of hype around Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn, this was the set you wanted to get. So you could get those minifigures. The next set that was released in that year was the 7111 Droid Fighter. So this is a Vulture droid, pretty basic. Again, this is 1999, first wave of LEGO Star Wars. Kind of like we had the Force Awakens, Rogue One, and the Last Jedi sets. Now this is the same idea. They released a lot of these Episode 1 sets, and then we'll get to some of the classic ones. So the Droid Fighter, we didn't really get to see it pretty much at all in Star Wars Episode 1. Actually, no, I'm wrong. We did see it in the last battle at the end, so that's when we got to see those. Was not very memorable. I felt like those were more memorable from Star Wars Episode 3, not so much from Episode 1. But still, however, a good build. It was $10, you just got that. However, no minifigures included, so that's kind of the con. I have several Vulture droids of the different types. I don't think I'll be needing to get this one. Next up is a set I have. It is the 7121 Naboo Swamp. Again, small $10 type of set. Honestly, this is very basic. You got Jar Jar Binks, Qui-Gon Jinn again, which appeared in many sets, two droids, two stabs, and then just a blue little base plate with a few bricks to make some sort of swamp. So the idea going with this is just really the swamp. It's very basic. There's not many bricks to it. I'd say there's less than 20 bricks to make up the swamp. Really, this doesn't have any use except just putting it on your shelf and having a good display of Star Wars Episode 1. So it's a nostalgic set for me because it's actually not mine, it's my brother's, which he got back then. However, there's not much to say about it. I mean, it's always been on the shelf. The only use I've ever had for this set was to play around with Qui-Gon Jinn, so pretty much just get the minifigures, and the stabs were a lot of fun. But the swamp itself and Jar Jar Binks never have ever moved. So my set is kind of pretty much just still new, just a bit dusty, I think. Next up is the 7131 Anakin's Podracer. Now, I've never really expressed myself on this topic because it's never been I've never been in contact with the topic, but just in general, Podracers are not my thing. I know a lot of fans love Podracers. I know a lot of people say Podracers is the good thing about Star Wars Episode 1. I enjoy it. I do think it's creative. I think it's great that we have Podracers in Star Wars, and I respect all opinions on them. However, in my personal opinion, I would not pay to buy a LEGO Podracer. If they were given to me for free, I would definitely enjoy it, build it, maybe still keep it around, built in my room. However, buying Podracers is not something I would really want, and I don't have much use for them, so I would not be buying this. However, the set came with Leia, Pit Droid, which we haven't gotten any Pit Droids since those old years, so it would be cool to see LEGO make that again. And then just Anakin and his Podracer. So the Podracer is connected like what is nowadays connected by transparent Technic pins or Technic pieces, was back then used with just 10 bricks, so making the illusion of the sand and the environment around it. It was pretty clever, it worked pretty well, but the overall design remains pretty ugly, so in general, the set doesn't look that good. Definitely go ahead and take a look at the newer versions of this set. Next up is the 7141 Naboo Fighter. Again, these old sets don't look anything like the actual vehicles in the movie. However, we got 2 battle droids in this, some sort of utility vehicle, which was just there to add more bricks and probably just fill up the box art, I guess. But we get the Naboo Fighter. It's an okay design. I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the word respectable. You get R2D2, Anakin Skywalker, and really there's not many bricks to it. It kind of looks lazy, like lazy build. But I would still get this set just for the curiosity to see how it actually looks, because from this angle, the box angle isn't very good, and I can't really judge it. However, I am looking right now at my 2007 Naboo Starfighter, and I'm pretty proud of it. I think it's a much better design. And then there's the 7151 Sith Infiltrator. Now this is a very, very ugly set. I'm still confused on how they actually decided to release this set. I know the sets back then were not very aesthetic, and I kind of enjoy just saying how bad they were. However, the Sith Infiltrator, kind of like the Podracer, I guess, is one of those exceptions where they are extremely ugly. You just got Darth Maul in that set, and some of the weird probe droids. But the landing gear is horrible. The pins for the wings are just way too much in, and it just looks very bulky and ugly, and not anything to it. Like, there's not much to the set in general. So that's my opinion on it. I know a lot of people still have these sets sealed for good prices going on around the web. Personally, if it's offered to me, I don't even know if I would take it, mainly because I don't have much space for sets. So I would rather spend money on every single other set on this entire page that I'm looking at from the visual dictionary than that actual set. Next up is a bigger set, 7161 Gungan Sub. This is one of the bigger sets we had back then. It comes with a few cool little underwater things, Manta Ray, and then the Gungan Sub itself. It's actually not a bad design. I actually like it. I know the newer one is just an outstanding design, and with outstanding minifigures, so I can't really compare to that. We get Jar Jar Binks, Qui-Gon Jinn again, and Obi-Wan finally. So this is the set to get Obi-Wan, which actually makes this set a bit more worth it. However, I mean, Jar Jar Binks and Qui-Gon, you get those in every single other set. So I definitely have a lot of nostalgia for this set, because back then I kind of wanted it. It looked kind of cool. There's not really much use for it, but it's one of the better sets of the wave. And then 7171 Mos Espa Podracer. So they took Anakin's Podracer and just put it in this box and added Sebulbas. And I don't know his other name, but there's a third Podracer in there, which actually looks pretty cool. And then they have little pit stands. So definitely a huge, cool set. I would really want to get this set just to see what it looks like and what the build is and the value, if it's worth it, and so on. But this is one of the more rare sets, and definitely is going to be more expensive due to the nostalgia. But this set definitely is the big best set. However, again, it does represent Episode 1. The best part of it would be the Podracers for a lot of fans, so that's what they focused on. Then in LEGO Mindstorms, we have the 9748 Droid Developer Kit. You can just pretty much build R2D2 in like a Mindstorm version. Not a set. I mean, the LEGO Star Wars Mindstorms, there's 2 sets, this one and then one in 2000, which is the Dark Set Developer Kit. There's no use for them, and nobody really bought them. That's why they came out of production pretty quickly, so not too much to say on it. I actually know nothing about it. You can just build an R2D2, that's all I know. So, and it's a Mindstorm. The idea is cool, but never really made something cool out of it. Like, the idea is there, but they never really gave in the work to actually make a cool or a big R2D2 that would be motorized or something like that. Next up is Episode 4, so we have the 7150 TIE Fighter Y-Wing. Pretty cool set. This actually is one of the longest LEGO Star Wars sets on shelves. It came all the way up to 2005, I think. 2005, you could still find this set on shelves. It came with Darth Vader, his TIE Fighter, obviously, and then a Y-Wing and a pilot and an astromech droid. So definitely an amazing set. I would definitely really want to get this set. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and try to get this set eventually in the near future. And, well, the Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, it is kind of a primitive design, but it looks nonetheless very good. And the Y-Wing, even though a lot of people would say that it looks very incomplete and missing pieces, that's what the Y-Wing looks like for the Rebel Alliance at that time. So in a way, it's kind of more accurate than some of the ones we've had previously or in the near years. So definitely I would want to see what this Y-Wing looks like and if it's good and so on. I think the head of the Y-Wing is a bit weird, but I'll have to get the set and judge it for myself. Next up is the 7110 Landspeeder. Pretty small set, I guess $15 to $10 maybe. You got Ben Kenobi, so definitely that was a cool minifigure to get, and that was the only drive to get this set actually. And then you also got Luke Skywalker, so again, two classic minifigures. Landspeeder looks horrible. Definitely none of the colors match the ones we see in the movie. It's very bulky, very ugly. Like there's no effort in the build because it's pretty basic. However, the minifigures make up the set, and I would see why somebody would want to get this set. Definitely to get the minifigures. They're classic, they're originals. Next up is the 7140 X-Wing Fighter. Great set. Just literally the classic Lego Star Wars set. Came back in 1999. Came with a little utility vehicle, some pilots, an astromech droid. I believe Luke Skywalker came in the set. Really just the X-Wing. Now I know it's a bit gray and the color matching isn't the best, but it's the set that looks the best from the movie, like accuracy wise. It definitely looks like an X-Wing. There's no way to miss it. There's nothing really that wrong with this set. I mean, sure, it's kind of small. Sure, it's not the best color matching, but it's nonetheless a great Lego Star Wars set. And for those of you who say that it's not color matching at all, if you guys took a look at the old unaltered version of Star Wars, the X-Wings weren't actually that white. In fact, I think a few of them looked way more gray than anything else, and I'm pretty sure in Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars Rogue One it's kind of the same thing. So just a little fun fact for you guys. Next up in episode 5 is the 7130 Snowspeeder. Now the Snowspeeder looks horrible. It came with a little turret, which again is also a very lazy build and looks horrible. But nonetheless, it came with cool minifigures. We got the first version of the Hoth Rebel Trooper, which looks alright. And we got Snowspeeder Pilot. So I know the Snowspeeder looks horrible, it's gray, which design is overall pretty good. Like, it does look like a Snowspeeder. It's a bit bulky, the colors are kind of off. However, there is quite a bit of orange, which the 2007 version lacks. So it's a primitive design. It definitely was good to get this design, and then they could improve it and so on. And we got the 2004 model and so on. So, or is it 2002? I don't know. But the idea is that this Snowspeeder was the original, and it's fine the way it is. It's just not a set that I would personally get. And then last one is from Star Wars Episode 6, 7128 Speeder Bikes. Now I definitely love this set. I've always wanted it. You got Luke Skywalker in his Endor outfit. Came with a little lame tree, but I mean, whatever. And then 2 speeder bikes. So it's a small set. It used to be, I guess, $10. And I would definitely just want to get this set. I mean, 2 speeder bikes, sure, the designs are kind of old, but they still look pretty resemblant to the ones we see in the movie. They're nonetheless designs that haven't aged too badly, and the and the Scout Trooper minifigures look pretty good compared to the ones we get nowadays. So definitely one of those sets I would want to get, maybe just for nostalgia, or is it just maybe to get just one of these old sets. So that's it for this entire 1999 LEGO Star Wars wave. I definitely want to say that with 2000 and 2001, it's actually the weakest of the waves that we've ever had in LEGO Star Wars. And I can understand why a lot of fans had a hard time just getting into LEGO Star Wars in general. It's not something that I would have easily caught on. If I was back in the day the same person I was now, I would not really become a LEGO Star Wars fan. I would have enjoyed some of the sets, but nothing more in particular. So definitely the sets that I would get if I could would be the speeder bikes, maybe the classic X-Wing and the TIE Fighter and Y-Wing. But all the other sets I don't necessarily feel like I would need to get. So that's it for this little video. I know it was a bit long, but the idea is just to take a look at all the LEGO Star Wars waves, so stay tuned for the upcoming videos. Definitely I'm excited to talk about my opinions of 2002, 2003, 2005, that's a good wave. But yeah, next one coming up is 2000. There's some pretty cool sets, decent sets, and then there's some really, really bad sets. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that wave next. Thanks for watching this LEGO Star Wars video. Please leave a comment, some feedback. What do you guys think on these sets? Do I hate too much? Am I being fair? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.